Peace and blessings. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Bossy, and today I am coming to you live from the mountains. I am in the mountains out in California, and I'm in this beautiful house that was restored, decorated by Christine McConnell. And if you've ever seen her series From the Mind of Christine McConnell, this is one of her houses. And I didn't know that. I had never heard of Christine McConnell until I was reading the literature for the house. But the reason I picked this house is because it reminds me, not completely, but a little bit of the Charmed House. And then it reminded me too of the Craft Legacy. And this is the second time that I'm traveling with the Death Alchemist. And this time it was my turn to pick the accommodation. So I just went on and I was like looking for vibes. I was like, I want the most, beautiful, cozy, film-worthy, witchy space I can find. And this house came up and it is extremely witchy. It is a house that was built in the late 30s and it's inspired by that time. The kitchen appliances, the gas stove, everything. And it's a gorgeous space. I tried to get a lot of the different rooms and details of the place that I like on camera. So I'll go ahead and show those to you and share those with you. It's here in Twin Peaks, which is the first thing that piqued my attention. And I really thought that this place was only like 1 hour outside of LA, but it turned out that it's 2 hours outside of LA. So we actually are going to have to drive back into Los Angeles to go to the Cosm Theater. So it's going to be an adventure. In the meantime, what's on my mind today is something that I was talking with Adriana about last night. We were talking about living a life that is authentic, living a life that is authentically fulfilling, pleasant and satisfying for you, and not doing things and making choices because you're either, raging against your parents and the lives that they lived, or against your own childhood and trying to outrun something that has happened in your family, or trying to prove something to anyone, or trying to get the approval of anyone. This is your life, and you get to live it how you want to live it. You get to live your life the way that you choose. And I think that the most satisfying, fulfilling, pleasant experience comes from knowing yourself well enough to, first of all, know what your interests are, what you are likely to enjoy, and to pursue those things. Whether it's pursuing a certain major, or pursuing a certain career, or investing into practicing a certain talent, developing a certain skill, moving to a kind of place, taking up a specific kind of work, adopting a certain kind of lifestyle. It is about going after the life that you want for yourself, instead of trying to keep up with someone else, duplicate what you see or imitate what you see other people doing, follow, in the exact footsteps of a parent, or to live in order to earn the love of anyone. Even, people I feel even do this for strangers, are like trying to garner the acceptance and the praise, the approval, the the love, air quotes are strongly implied here, the love of strangers. I think that when we're doing things that really, the phrase that sets the soul on fire, things that really light you up and wake you up and make you feel inspired and happy and blissful, joyful, alive, awake, and things that make you feel like yourself. I think that when we're living that way, that is the best chance that we have of living a truly happy life, a truly successful life. I think that's the best chance we have of success, is when we follow our path. And I think that following our path, like I'm saying the words, and I myself try to live this way. I think I started to break myself out of that trap of following somebody else's program and trying to live in a way that makes everybody else happy. When I graduated from college, I never had anyone in my family, in my life, talk to me about college until I was like 15. I'm already halfway through high school before anyone brings up the topic of college to me. And it was actually the youth pastor who suggested college to me. He said, "You are so smart. You could probably," I was in Greensboro, North Carolina at the time, and he was a Duke fan. So he was like, "You could probably go to Duke University." And it started out with people projecting their own thoughts and feelings onto me. One, I've never thought about college. No one's ever talked to me about college. College was not on my radar. It was not in my mind at all. Leaving my mother's house was, though. We were having a lot of problems at the time. And when my pastor suggested it, my mom, I guess, jumped on the bandwagon of, that would be a good idea for her. And then my mom wanted me to look at Spelman. So I remember the first and maybe only trip that she and I have ever taken together. My mom has 5 children, so it's always going to be a family affair. But this time she and I went on a trip together, just us. And I think the trip was like a 5-hour drive or something from Greensboro to Atlanta, however long that drive is. And we walked Clark Atlanta, Spelman, and then of course, I don't think we went to walk Morehouse, but Morehouse is right there. You could just see it. And I took a picture, and I think I knew I didn't want to go to Spelman. And I don't think we ever talked about the Atlanta trip again. We came back home. Somebody was talking about a local university called A&T, Aggie Pride. That's where I ended up going. I wanted to study English. My mom had a patient who had convinced her in a single conversation that you can't make any money from studying English. I wanted to read all day, and be a writer. So I wanted to study English, and she said, "No, you should study journalism." I had no interest in journalism. I didn't even watch the news at this point. But being a part of a journalism program, you now have to watch the news and read the newspaper so you can see how news is done. So you can start to learn the practice of journalism. And by the end of 2 years, I was wrung out. I was so sad. I was so sad about the state of the world, about humans. Everything seemed awful. I experienced such an emotionally dark place that I ended up going to therapy for the first time. And after my first or second therapy session, I decided to study psychology to fix my brain. So it was a lot of like drifting and a lot of haphazard decision making, not following a real path. But I ended up going into the psychology program and completing a psychology degree, a bachelor's of science in psychology. And I graduated college 4.5 years. And I remember my graduation was December 10th, 2010. And absolutely no one in my family knew. Not a grandparent, not an auntie, uncle, cousin, sibling, parent. No one. No one asked. No one cared. No one was there. No one was helping. I remember a couple times it was like I was needing FAFSA paperwork filled out. My mother didn't want to fill it out. It's like, you're pressuring me to go to college, but you don't want to help pay for it. You don't have any resources to pay for it. You don't even want to sign the paperwork so that I could figure out if there are any, funds available for me from the government, like nothing. And that is when I realized that people have a lot of opinions about the way that you should be living your life, especially when they don't have any skin in the game, when they don't have to invest in it, when they don't actually have to show up and support and help. It's so easy for people to offer their unsolicited opinions and advice about what you should be doing with your life. And often the conversation is not really well thought out about what you should be doing based on who you are, based on your strengths, based on your desires, based on your work ethic, based on anything that is real about you. A lot of times these suggestions are more based on what they have seen other people doing and or what they would be doing or what they assume they would be doing if they had your opportunities, if they were you, if they were standing in your shoes, which is a weird fucking conversation to have. If you've ever had a conversation with people who are like, oh my goodness, you single? You're single and you ain't got no kids? Girl, I would be doing it. Very strange conversation to have. Because I feel like if I had kids, I would never be thinking about what I would be doing if I didn't have kids. But that's just me. Okay? It's a weird conversation to have. So in order to stop allowing yourself to be putted around like a soccer ball and to have your decisions, essentially have your decisions being made for you, what you need to do is figure out how you would like to live your life and try to be honest with yourself. Like, am I trying to pursue this because I saw someone else doing it? Am I looking to start a business like this or a project like this or to pursue this kind of lifestyle because I saw someone else doing it? And if you saw someone else doing it and you feel inspired, that's okay. But maybe intern first. Maybe spend some time experimenting with that lifestyle. Maybe see if you even like the work before you throw yourself completely into it. I see a lot of people do this, especially with the advent of social media. You see people who are like starting all types of businesses, even in our community, people starting businesses that are just not suited for them. Like, they're not suited for these businesses. And the businesses end up crumbling. They fall apart. People get burned out. It's like, I imagine it's easy to get burned out on something you don't actually like doing, that you're not actually good at, or something you don't actually want to be doing. Find what you want to be doing, and people won't be able to pull you away from it. I'm just saying. There is a level of obsession that is available when you're doing things that are so suited to you that it's almost like, what else would I be doing? This is what I love. This is who I am. This is what I do, And it's not primarily for the approval of others. It's not to prove anything to anyone. It is primarily for the sense of absolute joy and fulfillment, the absolute satisfaction that I get from doing this thing that I love. And I think, like I said earlier, that is your best chance of success. Good luck. I'm about to go. I want to explore Twin Peaks and go look around. But of course, I'm in this gorgeous house. I slept like a log. This bed is so comfortable. Shout out to Christine McConnell. I absolutely love it here. Thank you for watching.